Hey there! I have a really fun craft for you today using Plaster of Paris to create a custom colorful trivet that you can use on your kitchen table or you can give as a gift. Stick around, I got the full tutorial coming right up. Hey there, I'm Sarah. You are watching Creative Ramblings, where I share simple, inspiring projects. From easy crafts to seasonal home decor, you are gonna find full tutorials for projects that you wanna make right here. That sounds like something you wanna see? Consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make a trivet. These trivets come in handy everywhere. I use them on my kitchen table all the time when I wanna take a hot dish from the stove or the oven and transfer it over to the table. You can make a trivet using two things: plaster of Paris and water. I'm gonna show you how to mix them together, get the right consistency, and how to mold them into a beautiful blank piece that you can paint and decorate and really make fit your kitchen decor. These also make great gifts. So let's jump in. I'm gonna show you how to make this. All right, I have everything we need for this project right here. We are starting with plaster of Paris. It comes in a really large bag or container. I tend to keep mine in jars. It looks nicer in my craft room. If you want to see what my craft room looks like, you can watch that video. I store a lot of things in jars. Label it appropriately, it looks great, and it's functional. So grab yourself some plaster of Paris. You can pick that up at a hardware store. And then I've got just an empty disposable cup here, because I'm gonna wanna just throw this away when I'm done. And then this cup just has water in it. Water and the powdery plaster of Paris mixed together to form a really hard blank surface that we can then decorate. So we're also going to need something to stir with, again, disposable, just a little craft stick is good, and a mask. This is a really fine powder. It is not something you want to be breathing in. I recommend doing it outdoors, or like I have all the windows around me open and I'm going to wear a mask. So always protect yourself. So we'll put that on first. Looking good. Let's get these mixed. All right, so the plaster of Paris, I'm just gonna dump a bunch in here. I'm gonna fill about half of the cup full. Then, I'm gonna screw that on so I don't have to keep breathing it in. I'm just gonna pour little bits of water at a time, and I'm talking very little water. And we're just gonna start stirring. And we're gonna get kind of a soupy consistency. We don't want it too thick, not too thin. It needs to be something I can pour. Now what's nice about this is if I add too much water, I can just add more of the plaster. So I think we're about there. It's gonna mix it until it kind of, so that's a little too gloppy. See how it sticks here? We're gonna have to keep mixing that a little bit more. But now, maybe till it's pourable. So there we go. See how it's kind of just dripping off? That's about what we want, this nice pourable consistency. Now we're ready to put this into a mold. So the mold I'm using is just a paper plate. It has kind of a waxed finish on it, which means the plaster is going to release really easily. It has kind of just nice sloped sides. It's a square, it's a beautiful shape. So all I'm gonna do is stir this up and pour it in. You could get really creative. You could use a silicone mold. You could make your own mold. You could buy molds for plaster of Paris. But I think the paper plate works really well, especially when we're making a trivet. Now I'm gonna need a little bit more than that, so I'm gonna make another batch. All right, so I'm just gonna mix up a little bit more and then pour that right on top here. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna kind of spread it out a little bit. And then the key here is to just pick it up and drop it a couple times. It's going to level itself out, maybe shake it a little bit. There's a few air bubbles, which I'm not too worried about, because this is actually going to be the bottom of the trivet here. There. Now we just let this sit for a couple of hours. That's all it takes is a couple of hours. It's gonna harden, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So this is sat for a couple of hours, and now I'm just gonna pop it out of here and peel back that plate, and I have my blank slate ready to be formed and painted and decorated and turned into a trivet. First thing I'm going to do is clean up these rough edges. I just have a sanding block that I am going to take to the edges and kind of clean them up a little bit. Now that my edges are all smooth, it's time to paint it. I chose a high gloss aqua blue color. You can use any kind of acrylic craft paint for Plaster of Paris like this. I'm going to paint mine a bright blue color that's going to have a nice shine to it. I've also painted these in different decorations too, in different patterns, so get creative with this step. You might need to add a couple of coats, but once everything is dry, we are going to take a clear acrylic sealer and just spray a coat over the top and the bottom of this to make sure that it seals well and it's not going to absorb any additional moisture. All right, it's all done. It's nice and shiny. It is sealed top and bottom. Now it's time to put some felt feet on the bottom and we can use this trivet. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of my trivets down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to Creative Ramblings so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.